Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to this Inform Hulk review. Now it's fair to say this card does look incredible. Every stat apart from his defending is above 84 on his card, which is yeah, pretty damn insane. With that in mind, I was expecting a lot from this card. In the first 3 or 4 games I played with Inform Hulk, I used him at right forward and honestly just didn't seem to be getting much out of him, so I moved him to right wing and he actually performed a lot better in that role. In the 7 games I played, he scored 5 times and got 1 assist. I actually think he got 2 assists, but one of them hasn't counted because I'm pretty sure he set up 2 goals from corners. Nevertheless, let's move on to the in-game attributes. And I'm going to have to say that word again, they are incredible. Look at all these green attributes. The physical attributes, apart from the balance, are absolutely incredible. And then the skill attributes, nearly everything is green. It is just ridiculous. 95 shot power, looking very impressive. 85 finishing as well. And the one thing I want to talk about is his dribbling. He has a really high dribbling stat, yet in-game, his movement feels very sluggish, especially on the ball. So yeah, on the ball didn't feel as quick as I expected him to, but one thing that was consistent when he was on the ball was his strength. He didn't have to beat defenders for pace because he was going to beat them for strength, keep holding them off, and keep hold of possession, which was awesome. So for hold-up play, for a winger, he was actually really useful. Anyway, let's talk about that magical left foot of his, because his left foot for shooting is just ridiculous. The shot power in it is just lethal, but that does have its own pros and cons. If it's on target, it's either going to go in or the keeper's going to spill it, and if it's not on target, it is just going to get blazed over, which was a bit frustrating. This chance here, for example, the ball gets played into him, I tap it, and boom, smashes it wide. A bit frustrating, but still, he makes up for it later in the game, which obviously is very pleasing to see. Now obviously in FIFA, Hulk is very one-footed, and that does come with a bunch of negatives in itself. His left foot is absolutely godly, but his right foot not so much. It does take a bit of getting used to, a bit of adapting, but once you get used to him, he can be a lethal player. So before we summarise this card, I want to go over a few points. The pace and the dribbling. Now I'm not saying he's slow, but to me didn't feel as quick as he should, and his dribbling, it's hard to describe. It wasn't like sluggish, but he felt heavy on the ball and quite hard to manoeuvre. When it comes to shooting, I think you know what I'm going to say. Keep it on his left foot because his left foot is incredible. Very accurate, powerful strikes most of the time. And from set piece as well, that left foot is absolutely godly. So yeah, pretty much keep it off his right foot and you shouldn't have too many problems. And now the passing. Overall, I was a bit disappointed with his passing. I expected it to be a lot better than what it was. His crossing was fantastic, but his short passing and long passing in-game didn't feel that great to me. It's not that they were terrible, they just didn't seem as good as his stats actually suggest. I think I've covered most of the positives already in the review, so let's talk about the negatives. His balance isn't the best, and despite him being pretty strong, he can be knocked to the floor fairly easily, which sometimes does lead to a penalty or a set piece, which is awesome. His movement, now as I said earlier, I'm not saying he's slow, that is not what I'm saying, but he doesn't feel as quick as I'd want him to be. Also, he seems a bit lazy at times. When I had him at right forward, he just didn't get involved at all, so yeah, that's kind of part of his movement too. Wasn't making runs enough, and that was a bit frustrating. And finally, the freestyle weak foot, he's pretty one-footed, and that can be a bit of a problem in a winger, unless you like to just always cut inside. So my overall verdict is he's a pretty good player, but not as good as his stats would suggest. And one thing I will say is, did not find much difference between his in-form and the non-in-form. So would I advise picking him up? Probably not, to be honest. If you've got the coins, then why not pick him up? But if not, just stick with the non-in-form. I don't think you'll be missing out on too much. Anyway guys, that is my review of Inform Hulk. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to leave a like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good day. Adios.